on the computer, the laptop today, we're gonna set up the ring light. I think the natural light is good enough.
Okay.
There it is. All right, we heard her speak. Shay, you got to give me sharing capability. Shay has all the control. So we have to go to the Wiz. Wiz gives us.
I haven't said hey to everybody. Hey everybody, hey everybody.
No, Shay.
What's up, Tanya? Good to see you on here. Cameron, Lakeisha. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good.
Afternoon now.
I know, right? Wow.
Keisha, I've been trying to call you, and your phone keep going to voicemail.
Because I don't have you saved in my phone, but I'm gonna call you back today. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Because it is. So you had me blocked. You blocking me?
No, you're not blocked. My phone just you coming up as a spam call. I'm sorry.
That spam is messing everybody up.
It is. I started answering them, but even me answering them, I still ain't got nobody. So I'm like, they all must be scams, mine. All right. So how to tie it all together. That's what we're talking about here today. Let's see. Boom. All right, hold on, guys. Let me do this. All right. So Joy could see the screen. I had to eliminate y'all. All right. So what have we learned so far? You know, this last 2 months journey that we've gone on, you know, what have we learned? And one of the biggest takeaways that we wanted to achieve with what we were doing is really adjust you all's mindset as it related to digital marketing as a whole, because that's not a term that you hear a lot of in our industry. When you're going to conferences, when you're going to trainings, when you're going to classes, you'll see a class about video, right? Or you'll see a class about Instagram for realtors, or, you know, TikTok for realtors. You'll see a class about lead generation, right? You'll see a class about CRMs or websites, right? You'll see a class about websites, but rarely do you see a class that speaks to digital marketing and digital marketing as a strategy And all those other things that we've talked that I just mentioned, all of those other things just being components of the strategy or tools of the strategy, right? I know that, and Jess, I would want you to speak on this because we're kind of working on it. You know, one of the things that Jess does is that she creates a blueprint. You know, when she meets new clients, you know, one of the first things that she does is that she sits with them, she diagnoses their situation, and then she comes back with a blueprint. And in essence, that's the strategy piece that we're talking about coming up with before beginning to implement some of these things. So Jess, what would you say is the reason that it's important that people first start with a strategy or a blueprint before they begin implementing some of the specific areas that we talked about over the last 2 months?
It's just important to know where it is that you're going, you know, knowing your ultimate goal and what it is that you're trying to achieve. And when you have a clear visual and vision, and a lot of times you need to write that down and make it clear and plain so that you can actually execute. And so when you start with that and you're able to say, okay, look, this is my ultimate goal, and you get specific with it, and you get specific with it, you know, the time frame in which you're trying to achieve it, you know, how it is that you're going to measure your success from it all. And when you know that at the beginning, now you can start to what you may have heard in the industry before called reverse engineering. Now we can work backwards and start to put the tools in place to actually get the job done. You know, we can start to really design the message that we need to create to attract that audience, to pull them in. So when you can have that strategy in place and think through all of those elements, it makes it a lot easier for you to say, okay, well, this is what we're doing. Here's this tool that's available. How are we going to use it and to attract who it is that we're trying to attract? Hopefully that answers your question. Absolutely. There.
No. I think that's a beautiful response. You know, as we continue to go through the presentation, what I would like is if you all could drop in the chat, you know, of these things that we have on the screen that we've showed, like who's already started taking action? Like who is, and tell us like, what is it specifically that you've already taken action on, that you've already implemented from the things that we've discussed over the last 60 days? Because the reality is, you know, obviously we can give these trainings all day, but if you're not implementing the things that you're learning, then it's all for nothing, right? It's kind of like, it takes me to an illustration in my mind of a library, of a shelf with books, and the books just have dust on them, right? What that means is that those books, yeah, they're there and they look nice. They're on the bookshelf and in the bookcase, but they're not doing anybody any good, right? They're just there. They're just a visual. And that's kind of how these trainings would be for you if you don't begin implementing any of the things. So drop in the chat, you know, what it is that you've already been implementing in your marketing strategy. And also let us know, like who's already sat down and really designed their strategy, you know, upon execution, who's already taken that next step. All right.
I see, Tanya, you got emails, right, text, good. Flyers, website, Keisha, Instagram, Facebook, good.
All right, good. And if you haven't started already, it's okay. You ain't got to beat yourself up about it. Like, we're not coming here to, we're not the police. You're not going to get thrown in the social media jail or digital marketing jail because you ain't implemented everything. But we really want to encourage you and inspire you to take the next step, like get off the bench. Let's start taking action. And again, if you're having problems or issues getting started, that's where that one-on-one coaching, that's where I come in to really help spur you in the right direction. All right. So different steps. So, you know, we broke it down into a few steps when it comes to email, text messaging, and creating flyers, some of the key takeaways that we want to speak to. You know, go ahead, close it. We're going to close that door. They keep beeping. Y'all just beeping too loud in there. It's making all kind of noise back there. All right. Okay, so email, text messaging, and creating flyers, key takeaways. Number one, you want to definitely define your goals. What do you want to accomplish, right? And, just when you're putting together that blueprint for the agents, I believe this is the first thing that you have them address when it comes to their strategy, right?
Yeah, the what and why.
Yeah, because I'll use me as an illustration. So one of the things, me and my wife, we got blessed with an opportunity. We're going to be going out of town, out of the country here. We're going to be leaving out on Friday. So a couple of days, before we're getting up out of here, and there's some things that you need to do, right? There's some things that you need to put in place that you need to execute on prior to anybody going on vacation. I know everybody on here, y'all going on vacation, y'all done stuff, right? Well, imagine preparing to go on vacation without a destination, right?
Oh, wow.
Right? How do you prepare? It's not even possible, right? Now, we know that there are certain things, regardless of where you go on vacation, there are certain things you got to consider, right? You're going to have to consider how you get there. You're going to have to consider what you're going to wear, where you're going to stay. So yeah, there are some common threads, but just because I got to consider how I'm going to get there, until I first determine the destination, I can't finalize on how I'm going to get there. Until I determine the destination, I can't finalize on where I'm going to stay or what I'm going to wear. So the destination is the beginning of anything. And that's the same thing here. We can talk strategy, and we can talk blueprint, and we can talk plan, we can talk all of that stuff. But if you haven't figured out what it is that you're trying to accomplish, if you don't have that, then everything else is just like you trying to prepare for a trip, but you don't know what the destination is, right? And I believe, Jess, and you correct me, you give me your thoughts, Jess. This is why most realtors never take off when it comes to the digital marketing or the marketing aspects of their business. They never really get any traction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say they don't take off, because we take off when we don't have a plan. So, but it just doesn't stick, right? We can stick with it in a consistency because it hasn't been fleshed out, and you don't have the action items that you need to attack. So I think that, like I said, it just makes it a lot easier when you say, okay, I got to do this, and you can do those check boxes. It just helps. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Good. Laverne, you're unmuted. Were you finna say something? Oh, you had a question?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on.
Oh, all right. So defining your goal is key. Again, that's just like you're about to go on a vacation. You first need to determine a destination, like where you're going to go. So that's what this is when it comes to defining your goal, what it is that you actually want to accomplish. Right. And what I would like to partner alongside of that is the why, right? Why are you going to that particular location? Why is it that you want that particular outcome? Or why is it that you want to accomplish that particular thing? And I think the why is important because that also is going to help with the sustainability and the consistency that I just talked about, right? We take off, but we don't keep it going. There's no sustainability. And understanding why you're doing something a particular way is key to maintaining it, right? I'll use the Real to Life podcast as an example, right? There was a time with our Brooks and Davis TV, Monday Night Live, Real to Life podcast, Mastermind Through Tough Times. These are elements that we've been doing for years, right? Not a couple of days, not months. You see people all the time, they start something, they'll start their podcast and then it only get 3 episodes and then it's gone, right? Well, these are elements that we've shown sustainability to where we're doing them for years. And I want you all to understand that there have been moments when we had to ask the question, do we still need to do these things? Matter of fact, we just recently did. I mean, when I say recently, like in May of this year, we just came to that crossroads of, do we still need to be doing these? Is it still having the impact of why we originally designed it, right? And because we were clear on the what And because we were clear on the why we're doing it, it didn't take long to determine if we still need to do it or not, right? It was a quick decision, like, yes, these are still critical to our strategy. Let's keep doing them, right? Versus going back and forth to try to determine if it still has a place. So under step one, the what, your goals, the why, the purpose. We'll call it that, right? All right, step two, defining your offer. What's in it for the consumer? I think this is a big challenge for them as well, Jess, is, well, I'm gonna design something that I like. Right? I'm gonna design a strategy or content or something that I believe is that attracts me, right? The problem though, Jess, is that we're not, for most instances, as a real estate professional, unless you're in the market to buy a house, you're not the profile of audience that you need to be attracted. That it doesn't need to be attractive to you because you're not in the market to buy a house, right? If you're not in the market to sell a house, then your content doesn't need to be attractive to you because you're not the consumer that you're going after. I don't think that they go that step when it comes to their planning, Jess. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, something that's important is to be able to define your consumer persona, defining those personas, like who, like describe, who is it that your ultimate customer, and really dive into what it is that their needs are, what is their pain points. And because it might not be what it is that you personally need, but it's the skill or the information that you have that you can offer, but they're in need of something. And so when you can be clear and define what it is that they need, then you can start to create that story behind it. For instance, I was just talking to Mike about it, and this is just a really light example, but as far as like some of the realtors at the brokerage or people who've been newly licensed, you may have a single mother, who has kids or something. We noticed that women are our target as far as agents. There's a lot more women as far as in the industry, and there may be some who are, have kids that still struggle with, okay, can I have a career or can I and be a mother? Brooks and Davis can create that, has that atmosphere, that culture. As you maybe seen in our last, what was that? The pre-home buyer session, there you have a baby that comes into the pre-home buyer session, as a realtor, she was presenting, but we make that, available. We don't turn anyone away. You're welcome. You can still have your business, your career as an agent, and you can be a mother, so that may be a message that the person that we're trying to target that would feel comfortable being in an environment, a culture, or a brokerage that accepts that and allows that and not be judged or looked upon differently. So, that could be, that's a person, that's a personality, that's a persona, that's a target person. So just really defining and identifying what type of people, what is it that they may need to help you stand out, to help you, to really help you stand out and to grow your business.
Yeah, and that's a great way of framing it, Jess. And what that requires from you as a professional is a different level of observation, right? A different level of, if you're saying, okay, well, I want to attract buyers, then now you have to become an expert. You have to begin to research. You have to begin to study individuals that are, what is that profile of someone that is thinking about buying a house? Like, what do they think? What attracts them? What interests them? Like just spoke earlier, what are those pain points? And the luxury that Brooks and Davis agents have is that, look, you got access to somebody that's been doing it for 18 years, right? You don't need to guess. Just ask Mike, right? I call myself old man Mike sometimes. Ask old man Mike, hey man, what do you think buyers care about? Like, what's that profile? What do you think is important to sellers? What's that profile? So it's not something that you have to do by yourself because you have a broker that's easily accessible and that's open. And we have the, again, coaching platform laid out, and I'm going to really harp on that because that's just how critical it is for you all to execute on what we've talked about for the last 2 months, right? The idea was never for you to implement this stuff by yourself. The idea was to expose it to you, so you can see the importance of allowing us to help you build it together. So, all right, so defining your goals, and then when you define your offer, it has to be based on you being clear on what it is the consumer wants and what the consumer likes and what the consumer is attracted to, not you, right? Because you don't matter in this. It ain't about you. All right, so then step 3 talks about building your targeted email or text list. Again, that goes into once you've identified what your profile is and who your consumer is, now you got to look at where can I get them? Where ideally, what's the playground that these particular people typically play in? Home buyers. It may be a buyer like Jess talked about, single mothers, right? Single mothers wanting to purchase homes. Okay, that could be your profile. All right, well, where do those people frequent, right? To where I can go, or I can put my message, I can, as a part of my marketing strategy, we're utilizing these elements because this is the profile that I want to, that I want my message, that I want people to, that I want to see my message. This profile, this people, and this is where they are. So then this is what helps you build your targeted list, right? Something that Brooks and I just talked about today. You know, we are one of the things that we expose in the weekend replay. Just that's what she was talking about, the weekend replay, not the pre-home buyer session, where one of our agents came and they had the baby, and boom. Matter of fact, we had a bunch of kids in the weekend replay. Even one of our presenters brought their kids.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, but one of the things that we presented or exposed at the weekend replay was the fact that by October 1 of this year, we're going to be launching into Austin, the Austin market. Well, to open up a brokerage firm in Austin, you're going to need agents. We're going to want agents. So that means now we want to recruit agents in the Austin market, right? So now we have to identify something that would attract an agent in the Austin market, somebody that would be attracted to what we have to offer with Brooks and Davis, and they'd be attracted to somebody that's in a different marketplace. That's going to look different from somebody that's here in Houston. So, and then now that we've identified that, now we got to go figure out where can we find that profile of agent inside of the Austin market that puts us in the best chance to want to join Brooks and Davis when we go out there. When we find that playground, then that's the list that we're talking about. And then that's the list of the group of people that we're going to consistently market to and consistently put our marketing message in front of, whether that's email, whether that's text message, whether that's Laverne, our head of agent recruitment, getting on the phone and calling them. But it's going to be a specific group of people that we're going to be reaching out to versus, it's close to 100,000 realtors in Texas, right? It's probably, if there's 40,000 here in Houston, even if it's, I think the most recent number is 45,000 licensed professionals in the Houston Metroplex, right? So even if Austin got half of that, that's 20,000. Well, trying to expose it to 20,000 people, right? It's not going to be effective. Right? It's not the best use of time. So you want to hone it down and build that target. That's the key in this step, is you want to build that targeted list where you put some thought, did some research, and then you identified the individuals that gives you the best chance of taking action or responding to the call to action that you put in your message, right? You want to be strategic about it. So that's step 3. Step 4, considering different type of techniques, I think is what step 4 is really about. Once you've identified your goals, once you've determined, what you're doing, why you're doing it, once you've determined your profile of who the person is, and then you've created your message that's attractive to them, what's in it for them, you've done that, then you've identified the playground that those people are in to where you can go out there and get them. Now you want to think about, well, what are the types of tools that you're going to utilize to engage them, right? So that's where social media comes in, CRM, email, text message, video. That's where all that stuff comes in, right? Customer relationship management system. Yeah. So that's where all that stuff comes in. That we're in step 4, right? So before we even start talking about the platforms that we're going to use, we're in step 4 before we even start talking about that stuff. And the preliminary things that I just presented is, I believe, where most people are missing the ball. All right. So now when we get to step 4, we determine the different types. Are we going to use email? Like I know at Brooks and Davis, we use Constant Contact. Are we going to use text blast, text messaging systems? Call Fire is one of the programs that we use to do mass text to people. Hit 'em Up is a software that we use to communicate, internally to you all. So those messages that y'all get from me, where y'all in the little groups using a platform called Hit 'em Up. And then, we have on here birthday or holiday campaigns. Again, that just goes with the strategy. Like, this is the way that we want to approach the agents. We want to approach them using, all right, we're going to engage, or we'll say you as your client, we're going to tell them happy birthday when it's their birthday, if we get their birthday. Or when this particular holiday comes, we're going to be intentional about engaging them, sending them a targeted message on this particular holiday. So that's just a way to execute within your strategy. Okay. The 5 T's, those are some things that we had talked about in the past, where you want to tease, and this is in your messaging. You want to tease, again, giving them a catchy headline. You want to target. We've already talked about that. You want to teach. It's more educate. I know, Jess, we talk about education, entertainment, are really the 2 elements that we use in our marketing strategy, digital marketing strategy. Then obviously you want to monitor, you want to test, you want to monitor based on metrics that you're looking for. Again, that goes to that what, and then you want to track it. So Jess, I would kind of talk to them, because you're the head of digital marketing. You're doing this thing for Brooks and Davis. How do you, or could you give some specific illustrations of how you do it, utilizing these 5 T's with Brooks and Davis's marketing strategy?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Just follow the formula. I mean, right there, as far as like teasing them, you've mentioned in a previous training that we've had, as far as, and a good resource was a book that you had as far as like headlines. What do you recall what the name of that book was? You can kind of give them that information, but basically having the head, using resources where you can get into the heads and the minds of your target audience. What would attract them? What would be a keyword? So there's different resources that you can use. You can use the book that Mr. Davis has that gives you some examples. You can look it up on Google. Just go to Google Trends and kind of get those keywords. Buzzmo is another source that you can use to kind of see what people are talking about, so that you can tease your audience with that subject line, or with your copy and your descriptions. And the way that you're able to do that is by knowing your target. And so that's what you're doing, is you're teasing your target. And so in doing that for Brooks and Davis, I'm always having to identify, okay, who is it that we're talking about? Are we talking about affiliates? Are we talking about agents? Is it someone who isn't licensed at all? How is it that I can tease them to open up this email and relate to them? What can resonate with them? And then you have to be able to offer them some type of value, what it is that you're speaking about. And so, like I said, I'm following the formula. It's right there: tease, target, teach, and then you're testing it after you put out your content. you're really, that's what it is. You're testing it. Some content may work, some won't. And so in email specifically, you do have some tools like A/B testing that you can utilize to create your message and use one message for a certain portion of your target audience just to see if it works. And then, you know, you'll look at your analytics and then maybe test a different subject line for another part of section of your audience just to see which one ultimately works. So that's the strategy. That's what we use when it comes to reaching out to you all and testing these different emails and text messages that we put out and flyers. So there's always a formula.
Absolutely. And just go into a little bit more detail with step 5 and step 6. Kind of talk to them about those 2 steps. I need to talk to Sherry real quick.
Okay. So your subject line and your writing your copy, pain points is very important. You know, it's what is it that they're, I mean, we can always put out an email that, you know, just says stop, listen, read this, but why? You know, what is it that they're in need of? I can't, my computer's about to die out, but Mike, can you step in? He's busy. We grabbed this before it dies on you guys, but
Right, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and get your cord. I'm stepping in. All right, so yeah, we're talking about the subject line and writing your copy. Again, when it comes to tease and target and teach, you know, those are the 3 elements that you want to keep in mind when you're determining what your subject line is going to, well, so the tease and the target is what you want to keep in mind when it comes to your subject line, right? Because the subject line in whatever email or text message, you're only going to get 30 seconds, if that, for them to make a decision to open up your email or to read your text on the. All right. And then when it comes to your copy, you're also going to take the tease, you're really going to take the target and the teach into account, because now you want them to continue reading and engaging on what it is that you've written inside of your copy. Okay. All right. You can continue, Jess.
Yeah, so writing your copy, so we've got tease and target. So your copy is the description. You want to be able to really target in on that pain point and what it is that they're specifically in need of or dealing with, this and what you have the solution for, you know. So we're just trying to hook them in that beginning portion of that that email or text message or whatever that flyer is that you're putting together. And then let me see what else you have. I don't want to go to step 6 if we're not there yet, but just be thorough in your designing. Okay, so be thorough in your descriptions as far as what their pain points are and how it is that you can solve that problem. There are resources that you can use that are online that can help you create descriptions, catchy subject lines. And then one is Copy AI is one resource that you can use. And it will really help you as far as your descriptions, Instagram captions, things of that nature to really hook your audience.
All right. So you went through all of them, Jess?
I don't know that I went through all of them. I can't see everything, but we did talk about subject line and pain points.
Step 5 and step 6. You was on step 5 and step 6. Did you do it? You did it. I believe in you. Okay. All right, marketing goals. So again, so website marketing goals. I know, Jess, you do a lot of this with Brooks and Davis when it comes to our website and some of the things that were important to us when we were putting our website in place. I know we've now become a big user of Linktree, right? And
yes,
you know what we see, because now we're using Linktree for the Black in real estate. We're using Linktree for the Brooks and Davis link for when you guys come to new member orientation. We're using Linktree for the real estate school Did I get all of them?
No, we have.
I know you're
tons.
using Linktree for RD.
Oh yeah,
But, yeah.
okay, yeah. We have yours, your personal for your Instagram, the Brooks and Davis for the orientation, Black and Real Estate, and then yeah, I do one for variety, Young Realtors Division.
And I think, and the Linktree, the reason the Linktree is so beautiful is because the age that we're in right now, where we are, like this time in our world, because people have so much access to information, before they make a decision, they got to explore. There is this period of exploration that people are going to go through, regardless of if you want them to go through it or not. There's this period of discovery that is a part of everybody's decision-making process. So what you want to do is that what a lot of realtors try to do is that they try to circumvent the discovery part of it, and they try to get people to make decisions now, right? You know, they have things that they push, oh, objection, if you get this objection, here's a way to handle that objection. You know, they're trying to get people to, you know, there's no need for you to go talk to your spouse. There's no need for you to think about it. There's no need for you to go do any additional research. You know, there's no need for any of that stuff. Make the decision now. And there was a time where you could do that because people realized there wasn't anywhere else to go to get additional information to validate what the professional was saying, right? So they just had to kind of trust the professional. There was that time, you know, especially if they were referred. If they was referred by somebody that they trusted, they would ultimately trust that professional, the triangle of trust. We used to call it that. Well, even with somebody that's been referred to you, and referred to somebody that was a past client of yours, referred to you by a past client that they trusted, they're still going to want to go and check you out, period, because they know that the ability exists. So since that's the case, social media is a great place for people to do self-discovery or exploration. The Linktree is a great way to take all of these areas where they can go and explore you and put them in one place and make it super easy and super convenient. That's why the Linktree is so beautiful. So if a person, you know, as Brooks and Davis, and we talk to somebody about joining us, well, the expectation is not they're going to fill the paperwork out right now. Now, if they do that, great, right? We winning out here in these streets if they do that right there. But that's no longer the expectation. The expectation for us is they're going to want to go check us out. So how do we make it as easy as possible for them to go do that? So that's where the Linktree comes in, and the Linktree could have the YouTube channel on it where we post a lot of content on that. It can have the Instagram account on it. It could have the Facebook account on it, right? So, you know, it can have our website on it. So now there are these places now, hey, we give you this Linktree. Hey, go to this Linktree and learn more about Brooks and Davis, boom. And now they can do it, they can explore, they can take their time. And all we really have to do is just make sure that we follow up, like that we call them in a week or something, or call them in a couple of days and say, hey, what did you think? What did you think about all of that? Versus circumventing, you know, with objection handling and things like that. So with you as a real estate professional, you're talking to a buyer, you're talking to a seller, and they say they got to talk to their spouse, they got to think about it. Design you something that you can hand to them so you can frame what they learn about you and what they discover about you. You can frame it utilizing these marketing tools that we're talking about here when it comes to the Linktree and the landing page and things like that. Now, Jess, you're more familiar with some of the specific, like Linktree, WordPress, Wix, like you've used these specific platforms. Do you have a preference? Like if you had some advice that you wanted to give them about some of the specific items that we're talking about here, I guess I would love to get your feedback because you're more hands-on and you've had more experience using these things in the past. What would you say about that? Just get off. Okay.
I'm still
All
here.
right,
I'm just
so
muted. I'm
when
sorry,
she
guys.
pops back on, she'll be able.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
I was
right,
just
but
muted.
I wanted you to, okay, you were talking to him?
Yeah, I was.
I want, okay, all right, well, go ahead and talk to him
Yeah,
about
I was just
specific.
muted. But basically it's for they run similar. So the ones that you may see there is for Linktree alternatives. Those are there, like Beacon AI. You may see a lot more influencers use some or artists. But if you like the visual or the aesthetics of their platform, then you can use that. But I use a Linktree. It's pretty simple. Like he said, just start putting different pieces of marketing together with your website, your social media links. If you do have some type of offer, I don't know, a book or articles, press releases, things like that. If you aren't going to build out a full website, then you can just take those links and put it there to your Linktree. And like Mr. Davis said, I'm sorry about all the beeping behind me, but you can identify, they can self-discover and find out literally everything that you want them specifically to know about you. And like I said in my previous training, sorry guys, like I said in a previous training, you want to, your website is going to be the big picture of things, you know, it has pretty much everything there. With the Linktree, you can maybe take specifically a specific page that you want to direct people to and have that on your Linktree on your website, but it's taking them directly there versus them having to, you know, search through all your website for the information. So that's a good advantage of having your Linktree there. You can put video bios on your Linktree. Those are all good. Now, as far as landing pages, some of the sites that you can use that offer free landing pages, there's WordPress, Wix, MailChimp. They will generate, have an option for you to generate landing pages. And basically with that landing page, you want to use all those tactics that we spoke before, as far as like your message and identifying that pain point, because you're essentially creating this funnel, ultimately leading them to convert to business. So they're self-discovering, you've hooked them in with you got them in with the hook, you're identifying pain points, going and elaborating on what it is that you're offering. And by the end of that, or in between in your sections of your landing pages, you're continually giving them a call to action, whatever that is, you know, download this free offer, or schedule a consultation with me. Those are the things that you want to have on your landing page, essentially to get to that ultimate goal, whatever that is, to sit down with you maybe for a consultation. Landing pages are good for that, as far as directing, keeping people focused and going through a system in the funnel. And the 3 marketing goals there for having a Linktree in the landing page is to build brand awareness, to generate leads, and to boost your sales. So when you can create something, and have it organized, you know, and have your system and your strategy in place, you're going to boost those sales, because you know what the system that you've taken them through. They've been informed, they know what it is that you offer, and now it's all about them making that final decision. Do you have any questions? I don't know if Mike is still there, but this is going to take a second. Do you use robot responses with lead generation? This is a question from Tanya. Do you use robot responses with leads generated from the sources that you mentioned? You mean like automation?
Yes.
Yes. So like there are definitely some automated tools that you can use. One that Zapier is a Zapier, I believe, is a tool that you can use. You can essentially set up automation workflows. So you tell it what you want it to do. So someone comes to your site, they put in your information, then it will maybe automatically be added to your CRM. You know, those are tools that you can use so that you can take off some of that workload. Did I answer that? Do you use leads generated?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? All right, we got land and convert more traffic. Yeah, and that's,
Good job,
I've
Jeff.
mentioned, well, appreciate it. And that's just a summary there for you guys of why using those landing pages and the link trees, keeping them focused. It encourages it to take action. You know, you always want to have your call to actions and all of that stuff set into place. Don't try not to put out content and send out information and just inform and don't give them a call to action. You know, tell people what it is, the next steps they need to know.
You know, and Jess, I think that's important. I think that's a real important key. If you're putting out content, but you're not giving people instruction on what the next step needs to be, there always needs to be a next step. Like everything that you send out should be guiding people to an immediate next step. So it's like a trail, right? You know, I recall it brings me to, I don't know if that was Hansel and Gretel or whatever, where they had the breadcrumbs that led them to the lady's house. But that's what your marketing should look like. Every piece that you put out should be just one more breadcrumb leading you to the particular outcome that you want. So for instance, we'll use Brooks and Davis. Our outcome is that we want to expand our ecosystem. So if you're a licensed professional, we want you to join Brooks and Davis, right? Ultimately, we want the right agent to join Brooks and Davis that falls in our ecosystem. So we may start off with one marketing piece. So that's one breadcrumb. We're not going to start off with, like, that marketing piece isn't going to be sign up with us. That marketing piece may be, hey, follow us on Facebook, right? To try to get their attention. It may be follow at CEO Coach Mike, right? It may be visit our YouTube channel or go to our website. Like it's come look at us, look at this particular thing. And then on one of those platforms, the next breadcrumb may be, oh, we got career night, right? So if they follow us on Facebook, then when we have our career night, they see our career night. So that marketing piece is now encouraging them to attend career night, right? So that's one more breadcrumb, right? So then if they come to career night, it may be, you know, now they're in front of CEO Coach Mike, they're able to ask questions. At career night, it's, you know, what questions do you have? Where are you in the process? Or, hey, we offer free, you know, Coach Mike offers a free coaching session for you. Do the free coaching session. Or maybe let's schedule a company introduction so you can meet with Laverne and talk a little bit more. So we still aren't at sign up with Brooks and Davis, right? And then maybe at the free coaching session, maybe at that point you can go in with the, well, you know, you've looked at us, you've explored us. If we're the right fit for you, hey, sign up with us, right? But there were breadcrumbs, there were steps that guided the person to the outcome that we want. So with you, you're attracting a buyer, keep that in mind, where the initial stuff that you may be putting on social media or the initial email that you send out, that needs to guide them to something like a landing page or a link tree or a website. And then that landing page or that website maybe can direct them to social media, or even the email can direct them to social media. Then that layer can maybe direct them to something in person, right? A free consultation or a Zoom consultation, or maybe even an event. You know, I do home buyers workshops, you know, they can drive them to that event. And then if they attend the event, then maybe at the event, drive them to the one-on-one, the initial consultation, and then the consultation, you go in with the close. So that's like four or five steps, 4 or 5 different call to actions, depending on the platform or the stage of your strategy, leading them all the way. You know, what I see, which kills me, is that somebody will put a post on social media saying, hire me as your agent. That's just not how people are picking. That's not how people are making decisions, right? You know, let me list your house. And they send an email, let me list your house on a billboard. That's just not how people are making decisions, right? You have to participate in the discovery process for people if you're going to hope to get picked and hired. And that's true marketing. It's a process, it's a journey. It's not just an ad or a post and other stuff. It's a process, right? And the landing page and the link tree are key components for you to be able to use in that process of marketing, right? And again, the Tech Tutor does an excellent job of utilizing these tools as it relates to that.
Thank you.
All right, some link ideas for your link tree. This is just a few ideas, but there's a multitude of things that you could do on your link tree. Again, just look at the Brooks and Davis link tree, the one that just dropped in the chat. Look at it and look at all the things. I don't know, Jess, I feel like every other week I'm telling you to add a new link to the link tree.
I'm telling you, I think we added 1 or 2 yesterday, but that's how it is, man. When you start to build out your system and build out your programs and things that you offer, you have to have somewhere easily for people to get there. And then can't always get your website designer maybe on the phone or something like the link tree is like, here, I can put this link here and now I can direct people now immediately to what it is that I need them to see, so this is awesome.
Yeah. So, again, you need ideas on, what you want to have specifically on your link tree or which specific elements that you want to use. Again, that our coaching, that weekly coaching, we come together and we can do all that together as we begin to execute our marketing plan. All right, 3 main marketing goals when it comes to video and live stream. Definitely a great opportunity to increase brand awareness. With our video and with our live stream, like I said, it eventually evolved into, B&D TV, right? It eventually evolved into it. And when we started, that wasn't the original intent. The original intent was I wanted to engage Brooks and Davis agents more consistently. And I felt like at the time, the easiest way to do that was utilizing Google Hangouts, right? And at the time, Google Hangouts had a feature because Google and YouTube are all together. Google Hangouts would record your meeting and upload it to your YouTube channel. So that was in 2016, January of 2016. That was the evolution of B&D TV. And it was only, I felt like I wanted to engage with the agents more. That's where the Create Your New Life concept came. I would do it every week. And because Google Hangouts was the way at that time, Zoom was kind of there, maybe, I don't know, in 2016, but it costs, and Google Hangouts didn't cost. So that's one of the things. It didn't cost nothing. But Zoom definitely wasn't as big as it is right now. And Google Hangouts was a way to engage video-wise with a group of people. At that time, the most you could do was 10 people on there, video chat, video meeting, Google Hangouts, and they had that component where they would record it, create the video, boom, put it on your YouTube channel. It started with that, and then it went from Create Your New Life to adding the mastermind through tough times, doing both of them, then converting the Realtor Life podcast, converting Create Your New Life into the Realtor Life podcast. So now you got Realtor Life podcast, you got mastermind through tough times, to bringing in the Prime Real Estate Network, which although has its own platform, is still really a part of B&D TV, and we're going to begin to incorporate that as a part of the lineup. But that was that in-studio show that Rick Davis and Larry wanted to do. So that came. And then finally with Monday Night Live, the call-in show, having a way to really engage those that are not agents, Brooks and Davis agents, but they're new to the industry, as a way to connect. And again, brand awareness, the CEO coach Mike brand, the coaching that we do at Brooks and Davis as a way to expand that brand, bring in Monday Night Live. So now when you look up and you got 4 digital shows, I don't know of any other
Include
real
the
estate
lot.
brokerage
I
firm
include
that
the
has that much.
listing showcase as well. Yeah, and Black and real
You didn't even
estate.
think about that. So listing showcase, yep. See, I'm even forgetting. We got so many of them. I'm forgetting about. So, you know, listing showcase became an element to where we showcase you all's listings, give my commentary around them, and then we can send that out, as well as Black in Real Estate, which is my passion project. So now that's 6 digital shows where we utilize video and live stream. I don't know of any other real estate companies that utilize that much digital content and video in that way. And all 6 of those are opportunities for us to expand the brand of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, right? Being able to do that through Monday Night Live, through the Realtor Life podcast, even through the Prime Real Estate Network. Brooks and Davis is still connected to that. Even through Black in Real Estate, Brooks and Davis is still connected to that. So you're able to expand that brand awareness. And then showing that level of consistency and with the right call to actions, you're able to generate leads, as well as customer traffic. And then the one thing you definitely want to do with video and live stream is that you want your audience to engage. And that's what really makes digital TV different from regular TV, right? If you're looking at a show on TV, well, there's no chat. You can't throw comments. You can't engage in commentary with other individuals of the audience. You can't do any of that stuff, right? But utilizing live stream, now your audience can not only engage with you, they can engage with one another. And you want to, as a creator, you want to reinforce that. That's good for you. So that's even another layer of spreading your brand throughout your audience. Right? So those should definitely be your marketing goals when it comes to utilizing video and utilizing live stream. So here's a question for you, Jess. So, you know, I hear everything that you're saying, Mike. I should use video, and I even see how I need to use it, but I'm not good at video, or I don't like to be in front of the camera, or I don't know nothing about it. Should not be out in the streets getting clients anyway. Like, how do I do all of that? So if I were to ask you that question, Jess, how would you respond?
It's necessary, one, because that's where everything is going, you know, is video for one. And then it's just taking the time and having patience to learn it. You know, there are very useful tools that you can utilize to help, you know, cut down some of that workload. I don't know if the struggle would be, I don't have the time, you know, as far as I can record it, but putting it out and distributing and all that may be an issue. There's platforms like StreamYard that will do the bulk of the work for you, similar to what Mr. Davis said, as far as like with Google Hangouts. At the time that would automatically go to YouTube. With StreamYard, you can do a live stream on Facebook you can do a live stream and it will distribute to multiple platforms. So you can distribute to Facebook Live, to YouTube Live, to Twitter. They just opened up LinkedIn. All these platforms now that you can be seen on by doing live stream. As far as feeling comfortable in front of video, that can take some you know, some time and practice, but for what I've learned is just all about preparation. When you can, again, go back to planning, get your strategy together, get your script together, kind of identify what it is that you're saying, you will start to feel more comfortable. You try to get in front of a camera and you don't have any of that stuff in place, you're gonna feel crazy. You're gonna feel like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I look, you know, stupid, and all of this stuff is gonna go through your head. But when you can sit down and you can say, okay, well, look, one, identify your fears. What is it? You know, how can I address this? Is it how you look? Okay, we'll start, you know, figure out how you can look presentable. What is it that you're gonna say? Write that stuff out. What's the ultimate goal? I promise you, you'll feel a lot better about getting in front of the camera, and then from there it's just practice. I mean, the more and more you do it, the more comfortable you will feel about it. And as I said before in the video training, don't feel like you have to remember everything, because again, there are tools and resources to help you with some of those fears or obstacles that you are putting on yourself. Like if you can't remember the script, use a teleprompter feature, start to going through your Google app Play Store and then just look up teleprompter, or and find one that works. Big View is one of them, I believe, that you can use. And just start to create those systems and put those things into place to overcome those obstacles and put you in motion to just do it, because you can't avoid. You may be for a short period of time, but if you're really trying to expand your business, like you're gonna have to step into video someplace, somehow, and somewhere, because people are not just taking the pictures. Instagram is changing from pictures to video. You'll see it, and then it's just so much more beneficial, and it will help you save time too with your content creation. If you can do long form video, like with live streams and how we utilize it, it helps with content creation for myself with the brokerage, because I have 6 long form videos, live streams from Mike that I can now cut down into different pieces to get the message out. And then sometimes within those long form videos, he's speaking to different audiences. So I can then take those videos and then just target, okay, this type of person, or this message, or what he said here, what I said here, this actually really speaks to this type of person. So I really want to condense it, because we know people's time, attention span is very short. Condense it into, what is it now with Instagram specifically, is 15, I think 30 or 90 seconds. Condense it to that time frame and put it out there, and make sure you have all your other measures in place as far as after they see the video where they're going. But video is so much more powerful, I feel, than any text message or picture that you can put out there, because people are now able to really see you. They're seeing your body language. You're able to capture, they're able to see your passion, your emotion, and things of that nature. So probably went, pretty broad with that, but
Because you're so passionate about this, Jess, we can tell.
live stream is good.
But live stream is great. And again, I want to, just speaking from my place, right? I mean, that was me, right? The question that I posed to you was me, 2016. So that's 6 years ago, right? Before I started all of this. And I think the most powerful thing that you said, Jess, was just do it. Like you said it, you were mentioning a bunch of things, and then you said it like kind of in the middle of that sentence, just do it. But at the end of the day, that's really what it is, people. You got to just do it. Nobody's going to, so this is Coach Mike talking to you. Nobody's going to come do it for you. Period. Nobody's going to figure it out for you, right? You're hearing, you see us doing it. We're not the only ones saying it. Jess is doing it. Right? Video is it's where it's at. It's going. Like, you got to incorporate it. Like, this is the thing you need. It's going to close in a lot of gaps as it relates to the growth of your business. And all of that is true. So that means you just got to do it. Period. And that's where I was 6 years ago. I didn't go to school for video production or videography. I didn't have no certificates in that. I wasn't doing acting classes. I wasn't an expert in none of this stuff. I just was like, hey, this is what we should do. This is a way to do it. And what I did was I tapped into my creativity, right? I tapped into my creativity, and then I just started doing something. And it wasn't, sometimes I looked crazy. And matter of fact, the very first Create Your New Life, if you go to the YouTube channel and you go to the very first Create Your New Life, the very first time we were using Google Hangouts, the whole thing shut down in the middle of the show. It's shut down. Like, there's literally 2 videos in there because the thing crashed. The whole thing crashed, right? So yeah, stuff like that's going to happen. So what? Because that was feedback that I was able to use for the next thing, and for the next thing, and for the next thing. So no one's going to come do it for you. No one's going to come save you. So we got to do it. And you're not doing it by yourself. We the Justice League, baby. Yeah, you're a superhero, but you're not alone. We're a superhero team, right? So we are.
And the beautiful thing too, Mike, the beautiful thing too is that what I'm saying is that we're getting out of the perfection stage, I feel, of video. When it comes to social media, I don't think a lot of people are expecting us to be so perfect when it comes to our, they just want to see you. They want to, know what it is that you offer. They want to know your personality. They want to, know that they can trust you. So a lot of the times, though you still want to have a plan and still maybe want to know what it is that you're saying, you don't have to be perfect. Don't get so stuck on being perfect, with it, put it out there. It doesn't have to be the best piece of content, the best video that doesn't have flaw. You may see a flaw, but if the message is strong, if the message is going to achieve the goal, then put it out there. Don't worry about the little things, for sure. And that's how I feel like we get over the fact of not doing stuff because it's not perfect. Just do it, make sure it's tackling the message and objective, put it out there, and then start testing and change it the next time. Or make it a piece of content. Man, did you see that last video? I kind of messed that one up, but I'm getting into the stage now of doing videos. I really want to connect with you guys and blah, 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 blah. And now, have another piece. So let me correct it. So this is what, so just being transparent, real, a lot of those things can help as well. Authenticity is important.
Yeah. And I know what some of y'all are thinking is, well, Mike, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time to be playing with video and playing with social media and playing with, and my response to that is you do have time with it. You just, time for it. You're just not using your time as best as you can, right? And that's why another element within the coaching is us creating a real estate work schedule and identifying time frames within your day that you can be intentional about certain aspects of your business, like building your digital marketing. So you do have the time for it. We just have to become more organized in how we utilize our time. So you do definitely have the time for it. And just to reiterate what Jess said, if it accomplishes the goal, right? Going back to the beginning, the what and the why. If you're achieving that, then who cares? The mistakes or the whatever the stuff. Because some people may not even notice it. Just yesterday, Jess was like, hey man, look at this thing that I'm posting on IG. She was talking about the fix. Yeah, she was literally going to delete the post. Like, I'm gonna erase it, start from scratch because the text is not lining up. So I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, this is awesome. Let's go. I don't even know what mistake that you're even telling me to look at. I don't know what it is. What are you talking about? Like, the content and everything that was done. I mean, it was so good that the little piece of text adjustment or what was her concern, like the audience wouldn't even notice it anyway because we'd have been too busy laughing at the video. So you got to just kind of look at it from that perspective. So, all right, let's see what we got here. When going live, you'll want to create a rough plan. Okay, so, and I think Jess, you hit all of these. Here's some great examples of things that you can utilize video bio. Now that's something that we really want to encourage you to do, is do a video bio, because we want to take those and we want to add it to our website. Like, we're in the process of finalizing.
Third link of Linktree. I'll go over there.
Good. So now they can go on Linktree and they can upload their video bios.
Yes. As far as, are you saying as far as the video bio? I'm thinking about the testimonies. That's the next one. Customer reaction, I'm sorry.
Okay. Customer reactions, yeah. All right. So, but video bio is a great way to, again, remember, we're talking about, you want to send the consumer to do self-discovery. What better way for them to watch a video of you talking about yourself, right? Person is more amped to do that than read your bio, period. So that's a great way for them to learn about you. It's about me. Customer reactions, again, video testimonies. And there are tools, like the tool that we use, Jess, is, what's it called? To capture the video testimonies?
Yeah, it's Video Ask. You go to the Linktree, it's there on how to submitting your testimonies, but that's a tool that you can implement. Man, you can do so much with that, and then that's another way, again, that people are actually able to see you. When you go there, you'll see like Mike having an introduction video, guiding them, telling them, hey, what to do. Thank you for coming. You tell me what it is that you need. And, they can respond. It's very interactive. That particular tool is interactive, video interactive with your audience.
Good. And then And then, so you have that, a way that you can use video, explaining the process of working with you. If you go to our website, you'll notice, and you click on buyers, you'll notice that there's a video presentation of Margaret going through the initial buyer consultation, right? So it's a person could literally go to the website and they could watch the process of us working with them, right? That's another way that you can use video, a presentation, and then educate on areas in different areas. So those are just a few examples of, but there's thousands of, again, creativity. Like there are thousands of ways to utilize video to accomplish the goal, right? Remember, it's the goal. It always got to go back to what's the goal, why you want that, same vacation, what's the destination, right? Everything goes back to that. All right, so we've got video.
Yeah.
All right, by including. Okay, so this talks about, I guess this is another thing as it relates to video or just the marketing plan in general, talking about milestones, like what have you done or what have you achieved or accomplished? Plug in my internet. It's raining. Wi-Fi get the tripping when it start raining. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll use, we can use the, go ahead, Jess.
No, I was just, you were working on that, so I was gonna just read off some of this stuff. Go ahead, you got it.
Well, so what I was gonna do is use the weekend replay, right?
Yeah.
The weekend replay that we do every quarter, which evolved from the town hall meeting, right? Which evolved from wanting to showcase the agents, the top agents for that quarter, right? So it's an evolution. Well, that all came from this piece, right? Wanting to be able to showcase, milestones to your audience. Because the first thing we did was come up with our list of producers for that 90-day period to show who were the top producers. We created a post and we posted that inside of the private Facebook group. So that's letting everybody in our ecosystem know that component. Then we went from there to doing the live town hall meeting that went to more than just exposing the top producers, but talking about the goals that we had set, what we had achieved. And it was an 1.5-hour meeting. And we live streamed it. And through the live stream, we popped it in the private Facebook group. So we went live from the private Facebook group and the business Facebook. And then that evolved into, hey, let's do a day camp where we recap all the trainings that we did. We can still do the town hall meeting in the middle. But again, and everybody that's licensed can attend the day camp to get the trainings and be exposed to the town hall meeting. Again, dealing with milestones. So that was the genesis of that idea. All right, same thing with the testimonies. Now, like just mentioned, we got that link in there for testimonies. We want your testimonies. We want your clients' testimonies. We want everybody's testimony that has an experience with Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Now, why is that so important? All right, well, I read a book. His last name's Cialdini. Dr. Cialdini wrote a book called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. And one of the techniques that people use, people that are able to, compliance professionals is the term that he calls it, but he just calls them salespeople. He calls them compliance professionals, meaning they're good at getting people to comply with what they want them to do, salespeople. All right. So the one thing that compliance professionals, a technique and a tool that they use to influence people, he calls it social proof. And that's all testimonies are. That's as a person is going through their discovery process, they're looking for things to make their decision making easier, to where they have to use less thought. And the way that I can use less thought in making a decision is to look at what other people are doing and saying about it. That's social proof. So that's why testimonies are so powerful. So in your business, even if you don't use the stuff that we're talking about, you got to figure out a way to capture testimonies from people that have used you, or people that, it don't just have to be people that used you. Go to people that like you They may have never used you for real estate, but they your friends, and let them talk about you as a person, right? All of that is social proof of why someone should do business with you. Capture that. Google has ratings. Facebook has ratings. Like all these mechanisms have ratings, man. Encourage people to go and give you a rating, give you some stars. HAR has ratings. You got to use that stuff because that is what people, when people go check you out, those are the things that they're looking at to help them with their decision about doing business with you. And again, taking it back to the link tree. If you're sending somebody to Google, you got a business page on Google, and you're sending everybody there to do reviews for you, then that link to your business profile on Google has got to be a link on your link tree. So a person can easily find that when they're doing their self-discovery. So testimonies are important. And then the what's next, again, that's that call to action. I already talked to that. That's those breadcrumbs. You're leading them to the next step, leading them to a path of destination that you want for everybody. All right. So when so when creating content videos, stop doing it. I'm trying to move my screen out the way. There you go. There you go. All right. When creating content videos, these are some steps that we want you to, look at, to consider. We'll say that. Things that you want you to consider. And then we also put some software that you can look at as well. Even the animated video. Is this the animated video we did? Let's see.
Yeah, that's the animated video. Yeah, so a lot of times you don't even have to be, if you're concerned about you being the face of all your content, there's ways that you can use animation. I was one to struggle with as far as video and still am, really boosting that up, so for me, I created me a little animated cartoon that I can put on it, in replacement of myself at times, if I don't really feel like it, but I still want to have something that's identifiable to my brand and things that I do. So you can do the same thing as far as like with animation. You can make that a part of your video content, that not only do you do personal videos, but maybe you have mastered the way to communicate your message through animation, so that video is, and animation is big, and who knows where that thing is going to go here soon. So you can tap into a creative way of using animation that could be pretty big.
Absolutely. And that video right there, that cartoon, I used somebody on Fiverr to create that cartoon. All I did, again, creativity, man, just be creative, right? One of the things that I want you all to get away from is stop telling yourself what you can't do, right? I could have easily been like, man, I can't create no video. When I had that idea, I can't create no cartoon or draw. I can't draw. I can't. Like, you can always talk yourself out of something. Don't do it. Figure out a way, right?
Use those resources.
So yeah, went to Fiverr, had the idea, and got it done. So that's just an example of the video and Fiverr and things like that. And then again, there's some steps, and then there's some video software. Anything else you want to speak about in the lesson?
Because the list is there. If there were the first, like CapCut VN are good, Clipchamp is good, Capwing. They're all pretty good. These last two here, if you're not really big on video editing or don't have the skills, Final Cut and Adobe are more industry standard, but I would definitely try to check out CapCut and Capwing for sure.
Okay, so there you have it from the experts. Tech Tutor herself. Tech Tutor tip right there, huh? Just CapCut, Capwing. That's where you go. Right. For editing.
Yeah.
All right, so Guerrilla Tactics. Oh, InShot too. All right. So Mr. Brooks gave a great presentation about guerrilla tactics. And again, creative, like everything's gonna start, whether we're talking digital, whether we're talking social media, whether we're talking, whatever we're talking about in this whole marketing strategy, it all starts with creativity, right? Being able to tap into your creativity. So get creative, use the resources around you. That was a big deal. Brooks and Davis provides a lot of resources for you all where you don't have to duplicate content creation. right? If you want a message to buyers, man, you can just go to the Brooks and Davis website and click on the For Buyers page, and we have a clear message to buyers on why they should do business with you. It's the same thing with sellers. You can go to the Brooks and Davis page and see that. You know, the other thing that we do, and it's geared towards consumers, because most of our stuff, like 90% of what we do, is geared towards other licensed professionals to get more agents to join us. But there's about 10% of our marketing that is geared towards the consumer. You know, one of them is Mastermind Through Tough Times, is really geared towards people looking to buy houses, people looking to sell houses. The video that we do after Mastermind, the video, so we have a video that we shoot after, that we showcase after Mastermind, after Monday Night Live, after Realtor Life podcast, after the Listing Showcase. And that video is for consumers. You can listen to that messaging, because that's the messaging that we use to attract buyers and attract sellers. The Shadow Creek Ranch farming strategy that we're implementing, we've already designed the postcards, and we have messaging for sellers that you can use. So none of you all have to be out here trying to come up with new ideas when it comes to marketing messages. Brooks and Davis already has them, so you can use the resources. Pre-home buyer session, right? So not only do we have the messages, we even have the flyers. We have the designs already done. You can just use them, right? And just put them in front of your audiences. So all of that stuff is done. So when it comes to guerrilla tactics, it's about volume and quantity. Especially in what we're talking about as far as the resources that you have, we've already done the heavy lifting as far as making sure that it's the right message going out. So for you, it's like having, you know, that what they say, the AR-15 automatic rifle, you press the button, you press the trigger one time and 1 million shots go out. Well, that's what this is about, right? Press the button and now you got your activity increases exponentially of you getting, whether that postcard or that handout or that email or that DM, that you're just sending it out in high quantity. That's really what guerrilla tactics is. And then you want to keep track of, are you getting the responses that you want from that level of activity? Because guerrilla tactics is high level activity. You're doing a lot, spending hours, sending out a lot of activity. Well, you want to make sure that you're getting the returns that you're looking for. So you want to track it and you want to see what's worked. Okay. Instagram and TikTok, you know, and I think Jess really, I honestly believe, Jess, you let me know if I feel like the same advice that you gave as it related to the video is really the same when it comes to Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yeah, it is. Just keeping in mind, you know, your time frames and limits, which, you know, actually works out, you know, because of people's attention span. It's just, you just got to be more targeted as far as your message. Be very clear on what the message is, because you have a short amount of time to convey it.
Yeah.
Versus video.
And I think
it comes to video monitoring.
Yeah, and you know what you spoke about earlier, Jess, was, you know, creating that long, you know, you could take the video, creating that long form video and utilizing the same concepts in that long form video. And then through the editing software, you can take it and chop it up in bits. And then that could be your content that you post in bits on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yeah. And if you can't do it, send it to an editor. It's like, here's the long form thing, just chop it up for me and get it back to me. You know, that's a process as well for those concerned. Yeah.
So that's there. And then the very first one here where it talks about being your authentic self, you know, and as I look at it, I'm laughing on the inside, because it doesn't make sense for you to put on a persona, especially if your goal is to attract leads, attract people that's going to do business with you. But if you use this persona that's unauthentic to attract them, well, when you start doing business with them, then the real you're going to have to come out, right? And that's not going to work out, right? So you want to be yourself, like you want to be your authentic self because you're the person that they're going to be working with, right? So it'll be 100 times worse if what they expected of you is different from what they saw in all your marketing. So that's why it's critical for you to be your authentic, and it's easier, Jess. It's easier to just be you, right?
Yeah.
It's so much. Look, it's more fun when you just be yourself. So definitely want to do that. Don't feel like you got to be any kind of thing. So you, with all your flaws and blemishes, that's the person that your audience wants to see anyway, because that's the person that people are going to be doing business with. All right. So now, and if you're not satisfied with your authentic self, then guess what? That's where you just get more skilled, get better at what you do, evolve, grow, right? And then that's how you deal with that. But you don't change who you are, be you. All right. And then also, inform, educate, entertain. And again, I want to be crystal clear on the educate component of it. All right. So inform, you definitely want to inform people about things that they can't easily get information to, meaning they can't just go to Google and find out about that. Right. That's where especially if you want to be hyper localized, so you want to inform people on cool things coming down the pipeline, cool information that may be relative to their situation. Right. But the educate piece, I see so many agents, man, and they're trying to educate consumers on stuff like, what does earnest money mean? Or, what is like giving them definitions, how does the appraisal fit in the process? And buyers don't care about that stuff, man. They're not going to, first of all, they're not going to remember it. Number one. Number two, buyers, that's not how buyers pick who they use for real estate. Unfortunately, even if you've heard it, buyers are not out there saying, you know what, I want the most knowledgeable real estate professional. They don't, that's not how they're determining who they use, right? Now, yeah, there's a certain standard of knowledge that they expect for you to have. Like, so you just can't be running them out there not knowing nothing about what you're doing. So I'm not saying that they're not taking that into any consideration. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that isn't the prevailing a piece that attracts a buyer to a particular agent. What they care about is how you care for your clients. That's what they care about. So what you want to inform them and educate them on is the importance of home ownership. Like if you're talking to buyers, you want to educate them on why it's critical for them to go from renting to buying. You want to educate them on why it's in their best interest to go from buying to renting. You want to educate them on why they shouldn't be afraid, because most people are scared. That's why they're not taking action in purchasing a home. You want to educate them on why they should not be afraid, right? You want to educate them on, or you want to inspire them, right? I feel like the education piece should be more of an inspiration. You should inspire them to buying a house. And when they buy that house, use you. You should inspire them to capitalizing on the equity that's in their house. And when they, by possibly selling their home, and when they do that, they use you. Like that's the kind of education that you really need to be using social media for. And most realtors, that's not what they do when they educate. They're educating people on the details. And that's not how the consumer responds. They do not respond to the detail, right? Because at the end of the day, they're not trying to become realtors. Why do they need to know what these definitions mean? Right? This is not going to be their craft, but a lot of people approach it like that. And then that entertain piece, I think, is key as well, because, hey, people want to be entertained. If you want to capture somebody's attention, then you better be entertaining them. The education and the information is only going to go so far. If they're not enjoying what they see when they look at you, if you're not making them laugh, right? If you're not making them cry, if you're not tapping into their emotions, like And I'm not telling you got to go out there and put together a Netflix feature or something on Hulu, but what I am saying is that whatever you put out there needs to be entertaining. If you're going to get your audience to grow, and if you're going to get people to continue to engage with you.
And even if you don't put it in every piece, I don't think every piece of information has to be funny or, like it's a comedy skit, but it's also, it just allows some variety into your content. And you can inform, you can educate and have that, but then you have that I'm a person piece, and that I do have a personality. I'm approachable. All those things can come out when it comes to as far as entertaining your audience and providing that variety to your content and to your strategy.
Absolutely. And the final one, post, aim for 3 times a week. I already know, Coach Mike, I ain't got time. You got time. We got to get organized so we can be intentional about how we plan it out. But you definitely do have time to be able to do at least 3 posts per week. Okay. So stop telling yourself that. And again, come to the coaching. We'll figure it out together. All right. Questions for you to answer. All right. And again, it's all about taking action. These 3 questions I want you to answer. Matter of fact, write them down because these are for you. And you don't even need to say them out loud. I would love for you to share them. Once we get into our question and answer portion of it, I would love for you to share them, but you don't necessarily have to. At the most, I want you to ask yourself this, how can I apply these techniques to my marketing strategy? Right? How can I do it? That's an open-ended question, right? It'll allow your creative mind to begin to work. What's stopping me from taking action now? What is it really? Start listening to those reasons, those excuses you begin to give yourself. Because as soon as you start listening to those reasons, then I want you to take a hard look at them and then ask yourself, is that really what's stopping me? And should that be stopping me? Why am I allowing that to stop me? What is it? Because so ask yourself that question. What days and times will I commit to implement my digital marketing? So make a commitment. Just commit to do it, right? Yeah, you're going to get a bunch of chatter in your head, self-talk. I got it. No voice going to try to talk you out of it. I got you. But just commit to it. Say, I'm going to be intentional about thinking about, even if I don't agree with it or I don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm going to listen to Coach Mike and I'm going to listen to Jess and I'm going to at least come up with some days and some times that I'm going to commit to implementing the things that we've talked about here over the last 2 months. And even in this video, what days and times will I commit to implementing my strategy? And Tanya say, just do it. I agree. All right. So those are the 3 questions. Like I said, hopefully you wrote them down. Keep them in the forefront of your mind, revisit them. And then finally, just do it. One-on-one coaching every week. Masterpiece one-on-one coaching. Schedule your session today. I encourage you schedule up to 4 sessions once a week. So all you got to do is worry about it. Once a month, all you got to do is worry about it. We literally spend 15 to 30 minutes. No more than 30 minutes. Our sessions are no more than 30 minutes. Most of the times we're around 15, 20 minutes. We're clear cut, broken down into 5 different acts. Right. Act 1 is about getting organized. So y'all can stop saying that y'all ain't got time because you got plenty of time. Right. You just don't know what to do with it. You're not organized. So that's the first thing we deal with. Get your real estate work schedule together, get you organized so you can now clearly see you got the time. So now we can use it to start implementing certain things. Right. So getting organized is first. Number 2, getting clear. Right. We talked about the what, the why, the how. Right. So you also got to do those things when it comes to you personally. Like what's your personality like? What do you best, learn more about yourself? What is it that you truly want out of life? What's important to you? What's your ultimate vision of how you see what you want to achieve? Again, it's these destination questions for you personally that we got to address. So we do that in Act 2. Act 3, we talk about setting SMART goals, right? most people don't know how to set a goal in such a way to where they can achieve it. That's why most people aren't achieving their goals. They set them, everybody gets super excited about New Year's and, what they're going to do in January. And by January 15th, they're completely off track and they forgot about it. And they just going through the motions again. They're not living a life by design. They're just being reactive. They're not being proactive. They're not driving the ship. They're just a passenger on their own ship. Life is moving them in a particular direction. So, in Act 3, we're going to deal with that. We're going to talk about them. We're going to show you how to create goals in such a way to where you set yourself up to where you're knocking these things out every month or every quarter. You're seeing progress moving in a particular direction on the things that you said you wanted to do. You're actually doing them, right? So we deal with that in Act 3. Act 4, we solidify the routine, which is another challenge that people it's hard for them to get into that routine that leads them to success. See, it's easy for us to get into that pattern and that routine that is adding to our demise, right? That funnel that's taking us down. It's easy for us to get into that routine. But it's hard for us to get into the routine that contributes to our success. So, I'm gonna show you strategies and resources. We're gonna get that done in Act 4. So once you're done, you got that routine. It's the way that you plan your week and the way that you approach your week, to where when you see yourself moving and you see your life moving and your business moving in the direction, and you're having the kind of impact that you want, right? So I'm gonna teach you that in Act 4. And then the final act, which is Act 5, where we take about 90 days, and really that's monitoring. We're making sure that the things that you learn in these first 4 acts, are you consistently executing them, right? Are you doing the things that you've been taught and helping to get you into that habit, into that pattern, to where it becomes second nature for you to do and to operate like this? And then you can truly live, our goal is to help you build this masterpiece that you can be proud of, to have a blueprint that when executed on effectively, not only are you using your real estate license to get everything that you want, at the least every 90 days, we're doing 1 buy or sell transaction, 2 apartment or rental transactions. At the least, we're doing that every 90 days, right? We want to build a blueprint that when you execute on that blueprint, you're getting that result at the least. And then now we have this baseline that we can build upon. So the one-on-one coaching is critical. And that's why I encourage you all to take advantage of it. Set your appointment, schedule your session, schedule your next 4 sessions so I can see you and we can go ahead and get this thing going. All right, with that being said, any questions for myself or the tech tutor about anything that we talked about? Let's see. Or would anybody like to share? Would anybody like to share their responses to these questions? So any of that, let's do any of that right now. You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat.
Let's see. Nope. Brenda, I want to give you a shout out though for using that video in your marketing for sure. I noticed that and got some good viewership. Got some good views on that.
She did a video on her Facebook.
Yeah, she did a video with the Instagram of her showcasing her property, just putting it into action. See.
Yeah, it was it did pretty good actually.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
Just keep it up.
It's been a little difficult to find content lately, but content lately. But I'm working on it. My daughter's helping me. So yeah.
Brenda being shy about it. When Brenda told me that she did that video, when she started getting all them views on that video, she was so super excited. Yeah.
I was excited.
You should be.
Thank you. I'm working.
Brenda couldn't wait to tell me.
I sure could. was
Well,
like,
I was really happy. Yeah,
I
and
think
just
the music, I think the music you select matters as
absolutely.
well. Videos.
And that was one of the things in there, you know, all of those steps. When go back to the slide, well, when you come back to this presentation, for those that are, this is steps, you know, music was one of those things in there, because that definitely will help. And as you get more advanced, you can start identifying the trending music that actually people are doing on social media, and see how you can tap into that as well. But as far as your content, you get your content strategy together and stuff like that, and start to be a little bit easier.
The content, because like you said earlier, Michael, it was trying to tell people what appraisers, praise.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you said inspire people, because that
Mm-hmm.
that matters to people. Just, okay, well, the holidays are coming up. Wouldn't it be great that you would sit at your own house and have Christmas dinner or whatever your holiday may be with family, stuff like that. So that's good. Good stuff. Good.
And that sounds like that's your next post, Brenda.
Look, yeah.
I should have recorded it, because I don't even remember what I said.
We got it.
Oh yeah, we recorded. Yeah, we recorded. But no, that's the perfect, Brenda. That's the perfect illustration for what I'm saying, because that's what people are yearning for. They're yearning for something that can contradict the narratives that they're getting bludgeoned with on a daily basis, whether that's through the news, through their relationships, through advertising. The negative voice is the voice that everybody's hearing. So people want a cheerleader, bro. Like, hey man, wouldn't you like to do this? Like, offer them hope. People want hope. People want inspiration. People want a cheerleader. Like, people want that. And people want to do business with those kind of people that make them feel better. Like, those kind of messages make people feel better. And people want to do business with people that make them feel good. So that's another reason why you want to inspire, because of the feeling that you can create in people.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
All right.
That's true.
Well, good job, Brenda. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions, or anybody else want to share answers for the questions that we said? Questions for you to answer as we get you to take action. I want to get you taking action. No? Okay. Well, Jess, as we close out our digital series, right? I think between you and LaShavia, y'all did an excellent job of putting all of it together over the last couple of months. Great content. I mean, great content. And I think it's, the tools, the topics, the resources, the presentations. I definitely want to shout you out, and I definitely want to shout out LaShavia for having us ready to go, ready to talk, and ready to train and educate everyone on these topics. So good job, guys.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. And then Jess, I'm pretty sure we're going to probably put a playlist together that puts all of the digital series.
Absolutely. Yeah.
YouTube.
We're getting them all uploaded onto YouTube, and then it'll be there definitely under all of our live stream. We have a playlist for all of our live streams and trainings for sure. I can definitely put one together just specifically for digital marketing.
Yeah, this series. Because probably what I would like to do with that is I would probably add it to the client tools library on michaelgdavis.com. So, one of the elements of the one-on-one coaching is where we begin talking about real estate activities that help the agent attract business. And we gave so many different ideas and concepts. And so for those that are not, for our future Brooks and Davis agents, the ones that aren't here right now, that don't know, I can easily send them to that link for them to get ideas and get that creativity to start getting sparked in their brain as they begin building out that part of their business. I can just send them that link.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, family. Well, tomorrow we have a Homeward. Shay has verified, LaShav has verified that there will be food. So Homeward is another one of those tools that you can utilize to help clients. I'll give a prime example of how you can use Homeward. So I was talking to Margaret yesterday. She has a client. He is approved for $160,000. He was looking at condos, but the problem but he has to go FHA because of where his credit score is. So because he has to go FHA and because it's only 160,000, no, and so that's why he's looking at condos. But the problem is that with FHA, the condominium complex has to be a certain percentage rented out by owners occupied. So he can't find any condominium complexes where it satisfies that FHA requirement. So what I told Margaret was, well, you can utilize Homeward, and Homeward can buy the condominium because they don't have to use, they'll use cash or conventional. Homeward can buy the condominium. Her client can rent the condominium from Homeward until he gets his credit score up enough to where he can get a conventional loan and then he can buy it from Homeward. Right? So that's a way for him to go ahead and get in a position of where he can move into the condominium that he wants. And then while he's getting his score or doing what it needs to do to get his score where it needs to be, once he gets it there, he can now qualify for conventional loan. Then he can buy from Homeward, and now he's ready to go. So that's a prime example of how you can use that tool. So I want you all to come out and learn about it. So when you have those situations, right? Most realtors that don't know about a Homeward, they're gonna have to tell that person, oh, well, you just gotta wait. And then what Keith Webster tell us all the time, time kills deals. Time kills everything. So if you put your customer in a situation where they're waiting a month, 6 months, 12 months, then now you're putting yourself in a situation where they go, you become vulnerable because they may not come back. So you want to be able to offer as many resources and tools to your customer as possible, so you don't have to risk putting them back on the shelf and them never coming back on the shelf. Or if they do come off the shelf, they come off the shelf with another agent that just catches them at the right time, right? So tomorrow, 12 o'clock, in person and on Zoom, 12 o'clock, take advantage of that. And then that's it, man. That's all I have. Jess, you got anything else for him?
No, I don't have anything there for you guys. I'm sure I'll be reaching out to you all, or you all can definitely reach out to me if you all need any specific tips, have any technology issues or anything that you need some assistance there with. Schedule up a free session there for you guys, and then dive into it, what it is that you need help with. I'll put that in the chat there for you.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Well, look, y'all enjoy y'all evening. Y'all stay safe out there in this weather. And we'll be talking to you soon next week. Well, tomorrow. Look forward to see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Your mind is on the holiday already. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Let's see.